So Make have just released 9 AI tools in a beta version, and I've managed to get access to it. So I'm going to show you what they are, how you can put them into real use cases, and how to set them up step by step. So let's get into it. Cool. So it's showing it now, the Make AI tools, and there's 9 different ones. So you're just going to type in Make AI tools if you haven't managed to get access to the beta. And you've got Analyse sentiment, request anything, categorize text, identify language, extract information from text, standardize, summarize, translate, and chunk. So the first one is Analyse sentiment. So what this basically does is you'll give it a chunk of text and it'll tell you whether it's positive or negative. So you could use this in email scenarios. I'll show you what you can use it in a minute, but let's just give it an example. I hate you. Let's give it a description. Run, excuse me. And that's negative. Shows you the input and output tokens. The phrase expresses strong dislike or hostility. What about, I love you? And this one should come back positive. Exactly, positive. So an example where you could have this is the instantly reply phone call or email reply automation, which I've shown you before. Now you just have a webhook here, and if I just show you what webhook you would have, no, not that. You'd go to integrations, webhooks, and you'd add a webhook, and the event type would be reply received. Any reply received, whether it's positive or negative. In here, you then add that webhook in there. Next one, Make AI tools. You'd do the Analyse sentiment. Text to analyze would be from in here, which would be the reply text. And then you'd carry on. And you'd only carry on if the sentiment equal to positive. And you'd only carry on for positive replies. And then it would either phone call the prospect if they had a number in their signature, or just send a reply straight away because you want to reply within 5 minutes to dramatically increase your chances of closing that. So yeah, that's the first one. Cool. So the next one is the request anything module. It's pretty straightforward. It's literally just like asking a prompt. So you'll input a text, you'll ask it anything. So write me a 25-word icebreaker to be used in a cold email. Run it. And you see, hi name, hope this email finds you well. If you could have a dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why? So actually pretty funny. Actually, no, it's not. So really, essentially, whatever you'd use for ChatGPT, you just use for this instead. Obviously, test it out, see if it does work. You probably wouldn't use it for creating a whole email, but the little prompts and stuff that you ChatGPT for, and obviously you'd take a while doing the system, use it, give it examples and stuff like that, you could just input into here. Cool. So the third one is a Categorise text module. So imagine you give it a load of a big chunk of text and you want it categorized into certain different outcomes and sections. So you'd add categories, right? 1, 2, 3. Let's say mammal, fish, insect. And you put in here an ant. Save. And essentially what it's going to do is going through that and it's going to categorize it as an insect. So we'll do the same for a giraffe. And you'll see it's going to process that text and decide whether it's a mammal, insect, or whatever else. I put fish. Cool. So where could you actually use this? So you could use this in a VAPI categorization sequence. So once a call has been finished, VAPI will wait for the end of call report, categorize it into certain different outcomes and decide whether it's gone to voicemail, there's been a tech issue, they requested a callback request, or they booked a meeting and done it that way. So in here, you can see, obviously I've created a prompt for it. which again might have taken about 10 minutes. It certainly takes about 10 minutes to load. So you can see this, look, I've put the exact prompt and everything. It took me probably a while. All I need to do now, get rid of that, put in here, excuse me, categorize text. You put in the transcript, categories. I just copy the categories here. So it would be, did it go to voicemail? Was it a tech issue or incomplete? An incomplete call. What else was there? Was it a new meeting or was it a callback request? And now it will just take that really quickly, categorize it, and I just change this to whatever category came out. So for example, if I just run this, whatever, hey, let's book a call. Let's book a meeting. It's going through that, processing it and deciding which category it should go into. It would go into new meeting, which means it would go up into here, categories, new meeting, callback request, incomplete call, and voicemail. So yeah, that's the categorize text function. The next one's a pretty straightforward one, identify language. So you essentially give it a text and it will output the language that is. So, hola, guapa. I don't know why I'm doing it in all caps. La cuenta, in fact. Una cerveza. Por favor. That's pretty much all I know. Beer and Bill. And we'll put that into there and it'll detect which language that is. So Spanish. So essentially that's what it is. So where would I use that? Potentially if you have clients that are multinational or international, you'd need to identify which language that is and you could put it into maybe specific teams inboxes, something like that. Or you can send a notification to that person saying someone's replied in Russian. You speak Russian, please get back to them. Something like that. So the next one is the extract information from text module. Go away. And essentially what this could be is you're going to give it a big bunch of text and it's going to extract the important information from there. It could be really good for summarizing stuff. So for example, description, their email, the prospect's email, type would be text. Again, the next one, the prospect's phone number, the name is phone number, and the type would be a number. What else could we do? Are they interested in the service? Are they interested in the service? Name, interested, type, text. And what we do, you give it text saying, so give it an email. So, hi, John, Tracy. This isn't for me, I'm afraid, but I will keep you in mind for the future. Steve at pair.com 077 Cool. There's definitely a couple letters missing there. That looks about right. And save it and run it. And you'll see now that it will take that text and extract the specific information. So you've got the email, the phone number, and they're not interested. So where could you use this? How could you sell it? Stuff like that. Again, I think it would be in here. Pretty simple. I've got the extraction appointment details in here already. Again, 10 minutes to load. And probably 20 minutes to half an hour actually giving it examples and giving it the prompt. So you just change that and link and link. You'd add in the Make AI tools, the extract information and link, stick it there, and you'd give it the text from the transcript and you'd say, get, I don't know what I had in there before. So we're creating a meeting on this one, aren't we? So see, I've had to do 4 separate prompts pretty much as well. Here, it's just as easy. We're going to need the meeting date or date of the meeting, you know. You do the, what else would you need? Date of the meeting, what they're interested in seeing. And anything else you find relevant that is needed later on down the line. So their email as well that you'll ask for, VAPI will ask for, what they're interested in seeing, their name, call a name, and stuff like that. And it can just be done so easily now, so quickly through Make's tool. Cool. So the next one is standardized text. And basically what this does is, for example, a document written by multiple authors with different styles. So say you got different emails from different work members or different AI sources, you could just standardize that text to have the same tone and same style throughout. So for example, businesses will now be able to keep their same brand style and same brand tone of voice across all emails and blogs and social media. So for example, give me 3 different texts in 3 different styles and tones of voice. Just 3 paragraphs will do. Make sure they are different styles of writing. Excuse me. And we'll essentially just copy this in. So this is friendly blog, this is sales marketing, and this is creative style. Yeah, look at this, cool. Okay, this will do, just for an example. Don't know why it pastes like that. And the last one, copy, paste. And it's going to take all this, standardize it into the same sort of style. So let's see how it works. I'm interested to see what the pricing is on this and what the limit is as well in terms of token usage. So it gives the text here, and let's have a look. In today's fast-paced digital world, automation isn't a necessity. Businesses is a necessity, and this says it's a necessity. Repetitive tasks can feel overwhelming. Emails, data, follow-ups. It just changes it, standardizes it into the same one. Probably not the best example. Write one like a roadman. Write one from someone who is illiterate. Write one as if it was from Shakespeare. And we'll put that in just as a better example for you. Oh, I ran it. The roadmap? No, roadman. Bruv, listen, man, I ain't got time for it. Oh, that's too funny. Bruv, listen, man, I ain't got time for all this long thing, yeah? Man's trying. Oh, that's so funny. Right. Mino, like, work too much. Work take long. Make me tired. Yeah, that's most of you watching this. Joking. Wield such art. Okay, put it all in and let's see how it standardizes it. That roadman one is too funny. I didn't have time for lengthy tasks. I focused on making money, not wasting time. I don't like working too much. It takes a long time, makes me tired. But now I have something. So it's changed the roadman one to a bit more normal. Changed the illiterate one to more normal. And changed Shakespeare's one. You can see here. Hark, good sir, dost thou not tire of endless quill and scroll? Do you not tire of endless writing? A marvellous tool is now available to you. There you go. So that's sort of what the standardized text one does. Cool. So the next one is summarizing text, which pretty straightforward. Meeting notes or a blog post. You just give it something quite big and long and it'll summarize it for you. So let's go on a blog and I'll get a blog. Cool. So I'll just do this one quickly from Google's Gemini 2 is now available to everyone. And go back into here, summarize it, run. And basically it's just going to summarize that blog post. So that is a good use case for it. See, this is the long text and this is the summary. It's still a bit long, but we could condense it down. In December, the agentic era began with the release. Probably, if it's cheap enough, what you could just do. Obviously an extra operation, but depends how many operations you're going to be using. And it's just going to keep condensing it down and summarizing it for you. Because I feel like that was a bit too long for a summary. And that is too. So maybe not the best example. Maybe what it's looking for is, really long text and it can summarize it for you. I'd be interested to see how much shorter it was. Maybe that is always the output is always going to be the same length. If you were to give it, a massive whole blog post, it would summarize it. You could then use another AI step to write a social media post based off of that. So you could take a whole blog post, summarize it, use another AI step to change it into a viral social media post, which would be interesting. And the next one is translating text. Pretty straightforward. Hola, guapa. Let's do English to Spanish, actually. Hello, beautiful. How are you on this fine Spanish day? I love Spain. I love paella. And we want to change it to Spanish. Pretty straightforward. It will translate what I've given it in English and change it to Spanish. Hola, hermosa. ¿Cómo estás en este hermosa día español? Me encanta la paella. Any Spanish people out there, let me know if that's correct. I'd be interested to know. It's probably too, like Google Translate. It's not really conversational. It's probably very, what's that app called? Excuse me, like Duolingo. Just too robotic. Not really conversational. But I'd be interested to know whether it is actual decent, conversational Spanish or not. And the next one is chunk text. So this essentially just takes, real long form data and breaks it into chunks of very manageable pieces of text. So it'll be ideal for maybe businesses that, are dealing with knowledge bases. Reports would be great. That's, maybe the legal sector, that they're really interested in AI at the moment. So if you were to give them something that could really easily chunk down big reports that they normally spend ages writing, amazing. I've told you how much data is going to be important within AI, so that's something to keep in mind. So essentially the use case that I'd use it for is probably particularly for that. You'd take a long report, summarize it chunk it down into manageable, digestible bits of text, and then you could actually input that into a summarizer or something else. So in here, you just input the whole text that you want to chunk up. This is the text, the size that you want to break it down into. So you'd put something like, 250 or 500. And this is, that's in tokens, sorry. So the tokens of each chunk, which should be around the same every single time anyway. And the overlap, you tell it to, you have to do some sort of math function, I reckon, to make sure it starts at the end of the last chunk. So one chunk's done and it'll start at the next one. Next chunk's done, start at the next one, and so on and so forth. So that's it. These tools are probably going to give you, they help. They're going to give you a bit of an advantage. Instead of spending a bit longer time, creating a GPT prompt that is going to output just one word or 2 words, for example, the sentiment analysis or something like that. You can just have it done really quickly and really easily. Your time is very valuable. Time is money. So the less time you spend putting into these systems, the more time and more money you're going to have at the end of it. And Make have really had to up their game since NA10 have come out with quite a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's better in NA10 that isn't in Make.com. There's a lot of stuff that's better in Make.com that isn't in NA10. So I'd expect a lot of stuff like this to be coming out from Make. They have competitors now who are making them up their game to a different level. So it's really exciting to see. So maybe with Make and other automation platforms, we're going to see the same as we've seen in the AI, where different models and different platforms are just really trying to one-up each other. It's a game of chess, and I'm hoping we're going to see the same here. They're just going to keep bringing out new features that are really going to help us as hyper-automators. So if this helped, drop us a like, drop a comment to see what sort of use case you use them for, and subscribe for more tips and tricks like this. Take care.